Hey YouTube, Kiera Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Naturia deck profile for September 2015. This still stands as probably one of my favorite decks, been, one of my most played decks. The whole basis of the deck, in case for some of you that don't know, is basically to get out Bamboo Shoot, which is your main card of the deck, but we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So let's go ahead and get started. I run 2 Naturia Bamboo Shoot. Even though he is your main card of the deck, I only prefer to run 2 of him because a lot of the times he can be a dead draw. His ability is when this card is tribute summoned by tributing a Naturia monster, while this card remains face up on the field, your opponent cannot activate spell and trap cards. So it really locks down a lot of what your opponent can do. I've played against Necros decks where, monsters are locked down because they can't activate their spell cards. Back row hate from a lot of cards. So spells and traps play some pretty big roles, especially with pendulum summons also. So the fact that Bamboo Shoot can lock them down, is a really game-breaking play if that's how you want to word it. So getting him out is top priority with this deck. And I also run 3 Naturia Cherries. Basically, this card, when it's destroyed by your opponent, either by battle or card effect, you could special summon 2 more cherries from your deck. So thins out the deck so you don't draw more cherries, and also gives you more tribute options for Bamboo Shoot. The biggest problem with this card is when, first turn and I have 2 in my hand, that means, one is going to go off and the other one's pretty much, just a dead draw. Unless you want to look at it as just, being that level 1 tuner that you can use for synchro summons. And I also run 2 Naturia Cosmo Beat. This card's great if you have it in your hand first and you have Naturia Bamboo Shoot as well. Basically, if your opponent goes first, his effect is when your opponent normal summons or sets a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So first turn Bamboo Shoot can be made with this card since you technically already have a monster on your side of the field when your turn comes around, as long as your opponent doesn't do anything to it. Great card just, to speed up your plays. And I also run 3 Naturia Cliff. Cliff helps with field setup. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower Naturia monster from your deck and face up attack position. So you can even go with Cliff, and then if Cliff is destroyed, another Cliff, 1 more Cliff, and then use the final Cliff to either go into something else you need. Just using Cosmo Beat as the example, but there are other options as well that are much better that we'll get to with the deck. And I also run 2 Naturia Pumpkin. Pumpkin's good for those synchro plays or exceed plays. When this card is normal summon, if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon 1 Naturia monster from your hand. So you can, for example, again, go for Cosmo Beat, or you can go for another Pumpkin for an exceed summon, or you can go for Cherries for a level 5 synchro. You have lots of options with Pumpkin in that case. And I also run 2 Naturia Marin. Basically, with Marin, when this card is normal summon, you can send 1 Naturia from your deck to the graveyard, and once per turn, you can target 2 Naturia monsters in your graveyard, shuffle both of those targets into the deck to draw 1 card. So Marin's good. You can recycle your Bamboo Shoots, because I only run 2. I like the 2 consistency, but if your opponent somehow gets around them and you need more, Marin can help for reshuffling cards back into the deck, and the draw power really helps as well. And I also run 2 Naturia Dragonfly. Basically, with this card, its late game is great. This card cannot be destroyed by battle with monsters that have 2,000 or more attack, and this card gains 200 attack for each Naturia monster in the graveyard, which is not a problem. This guy can hit really big numbers with all the Naturias you are running. So if you get him over 2,000 attack, he's pretty much indestructible from battles, basically because, anything that's below it can't get over it anyway because of all the Naturias in your graveyard. And I also run 2 Naturia Butterfly. Butterfly is good just for stall. You can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard to negate that attack. That's basically what all Naturia effects are. They're all about manipulation of other card effects, whether it be graveyard, cards your opponent has. That's what the whole deck goes upon. So Butterfly can negate 1 attack per turn just by sending the top card of your deck to your graveyard. Plus it's a level 3 tuner, so you have synchro plays as well. And last Naturia, I run 2 Fruit Fly. Basically, with Fruit Fly, all face-up monsters your opponent control lose 300 attack for and defense for each face-up Naturia monster you control, and once per turn you can select one face-up monster your opponent controls with 0 defense, take control of it until the end phase. The great thing about this is Fruit Fly's effect stacks, so if you have 2 Fruit Flies on the field, both of their effects are working, and the lower the defense, the better, because it's easy for you to take your opponent's monster, be it with that. You can use it for a Synchro Summon, Exceed Summon, whatever the situation calls for. The deck has a lot of different options. This is just probably my favorite build. You can go Beam, Mosquito, you can play Mantis. That's the great thing about this deck. You can customize it to whatever you think is suitable. Like if you, for say, want to take out the 2 Dragonflies just because they don't play to your ability, you can put in 2 Mantis or anything else that you prefer. That's one thing I love about this deck. Now we'll move on to spells. I run 2 Mark of the Rose. Basically, this card, you can banish 1 plant-type monster from your graveyard to equip this card to a monster your opponent controls, take control of the equipped monster, and then during your end phase, give control of the equipped monster back to your opponent, and then during the standby phase, take control of that monster. So any big monster that's on the field that you're finding difficult to get rid of, Mark of the Rose is great just to gain control of it. You want to make sure you make use of that monster so you don't end up giving it back to your opponent, because after Mark of the Rose is activated, they're sure going to find a way to, make sure that monster's not going back to you at the end of their turn. And I also run 2 MST, down to 2 now. Not so much of a need with the deck anymore, basically because you have Bamboo Shoot, which stops most of the spell and trap plays. This is just for, unnecessary back row plays so you can get off your plays. And I also run 1 Book of Moon, 1 Regeki, and 1 Soul Charge. Soul Charge helps just so I can have more, tools and essentials to get off some late game plays or early game plays, depending on what I want to do. And now we'll move on to traps. I run 3 Naturia Sacred Tree, main trap card of the deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard, I can add 1 Naturia card from my deck to my hand, so it's good back row play just to fake on that card. And once per turn, you can only use the effect of one of the following effects of Sacred Tree once per turn. You contribute 1 Earth Insect monster to special summon 1 level 4 Earth Plant type monster from the deck, or you contribute 1 Earth Plant type monster to special summon 1 level 4 lower Earth Insect type monster from the deck. So you can go back and forth between plants and insects, basically, milling through all your stuff so you can build up for Marin. Anything else you need, like maybe a specific tuner or, a higher level monster for whatever play you want to go for. Tree just helps set up those plays. It's continuous traps. You can use it each, turn. And the additional surge effect from this card really helps just because, like I said, set fake back row play. If they hit it with MST or something like that, you have your search. And I also run 3 Safe Zone. Still like this card in the deck, basically because with Bamboo Shoot, you can pretty much make an indestructible Bamboo Shoot with this card. Get the play off. It's a lot of fun. Your opponent has to really work to either, find a way to get rid of the Safe Zone, whether it be, Castell or something like that. It's a fun play to do. And I also run 3 Fiendish Chain, basically because there are other decks out there like Lightsworn with Judgment Dragon that can really, rain on Bamboo Shoot's day. So this card really helps. Battle Phase back row isn't really a thing this format, so I switched it up from the Swift Scarecrow, not the Swift Scarecrow, the Scrap Iron Scarecrow to the Fiendish Chain, and I'm liking it a lot better. And I also run 1 Compulse, 1 Warning, 1 Torrential, and 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. So that is it for the main deck. We'll move on to the extra. I run 1 Naturia Barkion and 1 Naturia Beast. More Naturias to add onto the deck. More with the lockdown ability. Naturia Barkion stops traps and Beast stops spells. So, getting these out can really help with the situation. And I also run 1 Balmung. Just, you want options for Synchro. So level 4, Armades for level 5, Goyo, Black Rose Dragon, Scrap Dragon, Stardar Spark Dragon, Trishula, great to have this card back into the deck. And then for Exceeds, I run 1 Soul of the Silver Mountain, since all the Naturias are Earth types, 1 Malaya of the Trees for your other level Earth plays with plant monsters, 1 Castell, 1 Cowboy, 1 101, and 1 Levier the Sea Dragon helps for those getting back those Mark of the Rose monsters that you banish. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.